There's way too many people these days confusing excuses as reason. Now, follow me. Imagine you're trying to go to a friend's house for a party. You planned on walking, but as the time get closer for the party to start and you making your way over there, you see the clouds start to get dark, you know what I mean? And then it started to rain heavy. Now, if you tell your friend, I can't come because it's starting to rain and it's raining heavy, that's a valid reason for you not to go. That's if you plan on walking. Now, if you tell your friend you just don't want to walk in the rain, that's an excuse. Why? You could have taken an umbrella, put on one of those ponchos, raincoats, or simply you could have just called yourself an Uber or Lyft. See, listen, excuses is self-justification that often stems from fear, comfort, or avoidance. Reason is a valid explanation based on factual circumstances or limitations. Excuses create barriers and prevent accountability. Reason promote understanding and can possibly lead you to a different or a better or an alternative solution.
I want Bible.
Gino want Bible like usual, y'all. Take that. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 4. The slacker craves, yet has nothing, but the diligent is fully satisfied. In other words, those who always making excuses always end up on the short end of the stick, meaning they don't have nothing, little to nothing. But those who's always finding a way, finding reason, the diligent is always fully satisfied because they're going to find a reason to get it done. They're going to find a reason to hold themselves accountable. They're going to find a reason to stay focused. People who's always making excuses, trust me, they're gonna find a way to make excuse. They're gonna say, I stubbed my big toe or something. The dog that ate my good sneakers. Y'all know people who make excuses, they be coming up with some of the most craziest stuff. Oftentimes in life, folk do magnify excuses for reason. Now, it's quite common for people to magnify excuses as reasons in various aspects of life. This often happens when, one, some have fear of failure. People may exaggerate obstacles when they come in life to avoid, the discomfort of trying to, do something new. For an example, some say I can't start that new project because, I don't have the education, I don't have the skill, so, that excuse might overshadow their willingness to learn and adapt to something new. So we see people, I've seen people do that a lot. Now, number two, folk avoid responsibility all the time. Instead of acknowledging, personal accountability for situations, folk, might often inflate minor inconvenience into significant barriers. They make little issues into big issues. Y'all know that old saying, you sweep something under the rug long enough, it becomes big, it becomes a big lump. That's what folk who avoid responsibility do. For instance, blaming a busy schedule for not exercising, may mask a lack of prioritizing your schedule to fit in exercising. So, people, y'all know them people who will make it. Again, they're making an excuse. Oh, I ain't got enough time to go to the gym. It's 24 hours in a day. You know what? I ain't even gonna go there. 3, comfort zone. Oftentimes, when folk face with challenges and changes, it can be easier to convince yourself that the circumstances is unmanageable, unbearable, rather than stepping out of your comfort zone. This can lead to people saying, I won't apply for that job because I'm not qualified. Instead of, them just saying, let me prepare myself. Let me go get the education. Let me go read. Let me go to YouTube. Let me go find out everything I need to know about this job. So when I go apply for it, at least I will have a little bit of understanding. You know, instead of them doing that, you know, they'd rather make excuses rather than take the risk, you know, of preparing themselves. 4, social pressures. Sometimes social expectations can prompt people to conjure up reasons that sound more acceptable to, you know, to somebody else or others, you know, enhancing their excuses. They might say, I don't go out as much. I'm not around certain people because nobody invited me. Rather than admitting that they may have social anxiety, you know, they don't socialize, they don't like to socialize much, or in some cases, they don't like certain people who gonna be at the gathering. You know, people always trying to find excuses. See, listen, recognize when you're about to turn an excuse to a reason can be the first step towards personal growth and positive change. You gotta know yourself. It's important to know yourself. It's important to sit long enough to get to know your own heart and your own mind and your own emotions. Listen, relying on excuses can hinder personal growth by preventing you from confronting challenges and changes and learning from them. You know what I mean? It undermines accountability, you know, at the end of the day. Listen, shifting the blame, you know, from yourself will restrict you from getting opportunities, and it's going to restrict you from improving in your life. In addition, it can change and damage your credibility. Yeah, it could damage your credibility, leading others to perceive you as, you know, unreliable, you know, a slacker, and just flat out somebody that you can't trust. Listen. Don't confuse excuses for reason. Find reason to make the change, make the effort, find reason to do what you have to do to get to the next level and stop making excuses. Amen. Amen. I thank y'all for rocking out with me. It's your boy St. Reese, and this is the Gutta And Saved podcast. Do something for the podcast today. Go to our merch store and check out, you know, this dope hoodie that I got on, you know, Gutta And Saved. We got it in our merch store. It's going to be down in the description area, man. I thank y'all for rocking out with me, and I see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ like they envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ, we ain't fake delivering. Listen, Candyman, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.